Right, to get reaction now to the situation in Tshwane, we are joined by Phathuxolo Ndzimande from the Pheli Youth Information Hub. Phathuxolo, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on. What are the issues behind the inability to spend these grants?
I think for me, the first thing is ignorance and arrogance from the DA-led city in Tshwane that has left townships and informal settlement out of their scope of practice. Their main focus is focusing on catering to their people who only vote for the DA in the city of Tshwane. But if you have to go to Mamelodi, go to Winterveld, you go to Hammanskraal and Atteridgeville, there's no delivery, and it's very saddening and disappointing to see that the city has underspent so much, especially knowing very well, Thabo, with the situation of water in Hammanskraal. You know, you go to your Winterveld, there's people who are still using pit toilets, 30 years into democracy, but still the city, now and again, still returns the money to treasury. So it's very, very, very hardening. Hijackings have increased. You go to a Mamelodi, people are crying about hijacking. They are complaining. You go to Atteridgeville, it's the same thing. Because street lights are not working. People cannot walk around 6 p.m. early in the morning. Street lights are not working. But still, the city is taking back the money, has underspent again this year. So it's very, very frustrating and very disappointing because there's just a lot of irregularities in our communities, just a lot going on, especially there's people who have been moved from 2004, I think about 355 people who were moved from informal settlement. The city of Tshwane promised to build them houses. I think it's 10 years later and nothing has happened to those people, and they're still living in the very same conditions. And so, Jay, it's been really disappointing and frustrating to see what the city has been doing over the years.
Yeah. If it was not late last year, it was early this year that I had a chat with the new deputy mayor, whose real mandate and why she was brought in was actually to look at capital projects and what the blockages are there. Has she made any difference since coming into that space?
I think there's been no differences. If I were to invite you now to few communities, you would go to Olivenbosch, you go to your Atteridgeville, you go to Olodiam, there's no services. There's potholes, streetlights are not working. You go to even community libraries. You go there, you find that there's libraries that don't even have electricity. There's no collection. So there's no difference that has been made. And this is why I'm saying it's very frustrating. And I don't know how many times communities have went out to the city, have went out to union building. We've seen developments, smaller developments during campaigns, but which of which we knew what was going on, because the DA wanted votes and to mislead black communities and to mislead the people of City of Tshwane. But honestly speaking, there's been no changes till to date. The deputy mayor has not even made improvements. If they have made improvements, they must take us to those places where they said they've catered and they've made differences ever since he got into power as the deputy mayor of the City of Tshwane, including the current new mayor of the City of Tshwane.
So you're saying neglect of townships, you're saying lack of focus, particularly on projects in the township where there are lots of projects that are left unattended. The mayor says, well, part of the reason is because we've done away with a culture of just putting an invoice on the table and then paying the invoice. That culture, as a matter of policy, as a matter of sound, prudent financial management, has been eliminated. And so the reason why you would have money left over is because there is a stricter regime of managing finances.
No, it's totally untrue. It's totally untrue, because if you have to go to Hatfield, and then you move about 15 minutes down, you go to Mamelodi, you'll totally notice the difference. And what would shock you is that both these places are run by the very same city, but the quality of service delivery going on is not the same. But whereas these people are paying the same rates to the very same city of Tshwane, but the service given to those 2 or 3 different locations is not the same. So it's like I said, the city of Tshwane has neglected development in townships, has neglected places that cater for people who don't even vote for the DA sometimes, and they've just forgotten about those communities. There's a lot of unfinished projects in townships. I'm telling you now, you can go to the City of Tshwane, you'll find a lot of unfinished projects, be it the building of a community hall, its infrastructure to local stadiums, tennis courts, and all those things. Even the basics, just of grass cutting, those services, we don't even know them anymore. You'd be shocked. Hence, I'm saying you go to Pretoria CBD, you go to Pretoria West, it's a total different story. The city is dirty, the townships are dirty. Also, the city itself, if you have to go to Maravastad and the status of Maravastad, not good looking. You go to town, Pretoria CBD, the status of Pretoria CBD, it's also not pleasing. But you go to Main Lane, your waterproof, it's a total picture. It's a total different picture. Hence, I'm saying the DA has forgotten about communities and towns that ordinary black people use every day in the City of Tshwane. And it's unfortunate that now even the elderly citizens get to suffer now, because you can't have sewage running across your street or across your house. It's a problem.
Yeah.
Electricity, cable caps and all those things. There's cables, and people who don't have electricity now, it's 6 months to 5 months, they still don't have electricity in their wards, and they continue to report in the City of Tshwane, but nothing has happened. So those are some of the challenges, and hence I'm saying that we are very disappointed with what the DA is doing in Tshwane. And even now, I'm sure we're still going to see a lot of service delivery, uprising and strikes and all those things, because people of Tshwane are not happy with what has been going on. And this is going to make it very frustrating now, especially when we've seen that the DA has underspent such a huge amount of money that will be going back to the national treasury.
Phathuxolo Ndzimande, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on from Pheli Youth Information Hub. He's the chairperson there.